and welcome to another edition of Press Coverage. Tim McManus and Josh Paul Neal, and it is a huge week for the Eagles. Even though they're sitting there with 8 losses, man, they do have a shot in this NFC East to punch their ticket to the playoffs, but it has to get done, at least in part, on Saturday. If they lose, they're out, which means that we have to focus in on this one for the duration of this fine program here, Josh. And I want to talk about one guy that you think that needs to step up in this spot, maybe somebody that's been, whether it's lagging or they just need to have a really big moment in a really big game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Malcolm Jenkins, not necessarily because he's been playing poorly recently, but because with this hurt secondary, Byron Maxwell, Eric Rowe, big question marks on Saturday. You don't know what you're going to get out of Jalen Watkins and E.J. Biggers. Jalen Watkins in particular, he actually did okay in coverage. They took a few shots against him. Now, obviously, the tackling wasn't very good, and that was par for course for everyone on this defense. But Malcolm Jenkins, I think he's going to have to maybe, if not force a turnover, just make sure the communication is good, everyone's on the same page. Because even though Jalen Watkins is coming back to the same old system, he hasn't had this type of playing time and this big of a game against this receiving core. So I'm picking Malcolm Jenkins as a guy that needs to step up for them to win this game.
I think that's a great one because you have a couple unknowns potentially on the outside. Eric Rowe's working his way back from a concussion, and then Byron Maxwell, whether he's going to be able to get back in time for the shoulder. So yes, it's very critical that the leader of the defense steps up in that spot. But how about Michael Kendricks? After the game, we're in the locker room, and he says, if I know me and I know this team, Washington has something coming. Well, all right, well, bring it then. I mean, this is a guy that got paid in the offseason and is just a superb athlete and can really flash and make some plays for you. But he's also been inconsistent. I mean, I think a little bit too much improving out of him and not enough consistency for a team that's begging for some defensive consistency. Inside linebacker was supposed to be a key spot. Kiko Alonso has not been the guy that they signed up for, whether that's the knee, whatever it is, it's not working. Just one tackle and over 50% of the plays last week. And I can't really rely on him to be the guy, but Kendricks is somebody that has shown in the past that he can get it done and really needs to this week against what has been an improved Washington team, right? Kirk Cousins playing very well, and the offense has been humming now that Deshaun Jackson's back. How do you like this one?
I'm actually going to go with the Eagles on this one because although Kirk Cousins has been playing better since Deshaun came back, I mean, look at who they've been playing. They beat the Bears by 3, who's one of the worst teams in the NFC. They lost to the Cowboys, who's arguably the worst team in the NFC. So they've been playing better, but it's not like they've been doing it against even 500 teams now. They play pretty well against the Bills, but it's not like they've been kind of just beating good team after good team. So I'm going to pick the Eagles. I think this game could turn into a little bit of a shootout with the question marks in the Eagles secondary. And then on the other side of the ball, this Washington secondary, I mean, they're 30th in the NFL in yards per reception allowed. And Sam Bradford had 4 completions in the first game of at least 30 yards. And he's obviously playing better than he was. So I wouldn't be surprised if he threw up 2 or 3 touchdowns, maybe 300 yards. He's going to need some help from his outside receivers, but the way these defenses are playing, you might see a little bit of lighting up the scoreboard in this one.
All right, well, I'm going to go the other way just for sport. How about that? I've been firmly on the fence in this game, and you can make arguments on both sides of it. The Eagles team, I think, we have seen some semblance of them at some point this year where they look like the team that could absolutely win this game. And then they go the other way on you. And it's really tough to predict, man. I mean, it's a mercurial team for sure. And we saw the way that they were able to go into New England and win. They handled their business against Buffalo, and it just goes completely south. And you don't know when it's happening, but we also have seen when they've gone with downturns that it takes a little while before they get back up.
Sure.
And after what we saw on Sunday night, will they have the kind of fortitude to turn it around, stay disciplined, do all the things they need to do, avoid the turnovers, and be the team that they've been striving to be all season? It's certainly possible, but I'm going to go with Washington that has been playing some pretty good ball of late to clinch the division in Philadelphia with Deshaun Jackson on the field, which would certainly leave a mark on this 2015 season. But maybe not. Maybe they fight on for one more week and finish strong. That's why we watch the games, and that's what we'll be doing along with you. Thanks very much for checking in for another edition of Press Coverage. Hey, for Josh, Tim, we'll catch you next time right here on Birds 24/7.